Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to the Ghost and Molly McGee episode 9. So last time we got some Libby-centric stuff. Really enjoyed that for fairly obvious reasons. And yeah, still no major like ongoing story or anything, but I'm still very much enjoying what we are getting with this series so far. All the characters are fantastic. I'm really enjoying what they're doing with them. The expressions are great. The stories, the general like episodic stuff that they're doing with them is wonderful and enjoyable and super interesting. And it's like not, there's a couple moments and stuff here and there that like aren't as amazing. Maybe a couple episodes that are weaker than others, but none of them I would say are outright bad. So I'm very excited to see what more we got going into this. I wonder if either in this episode or next episode if we're going to get any like big start of any big plot stuff, because Amphibia started that with episode 10, so maybe this series will too. I don't know. We'll have to see. But just like with last week, this one is split into two videos, 9A and 9B. Again, I don't know why it was put up on the site like that, but that's what it was. That's how it's downloaded, and I just didn't take the time to combine them. So we will have to switch in between, but that's not a big deal. That's not that big of an issue. So either way, I'm excited to see what more this show has in store for us, because it just keeps impressing me, just pretty much every time. So excuse me. So let's get on with this and hope for the best. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. I don't know what people might have expected for this episode for me. I think someone said in the comments that I'm probably going to like it or something, but I don't remember exactly what was said. But I'm mixed on this. I really like 9A. Not a fan of 9B. Let's talk about it. So, 9A. Molly is struggling with the idea of telling Libby about Scratch. She wants to tell her because she doesn't want to keep hiding this secret, but Scratch is worried that the more people who know, the less scary he is just by association, and the more danger he is of being sent into this phantom zone place. So Molly is struggling with this idea, and in order to not upset either of them, she decides she's going to pretend to be her quote-unquote cousin from Canada, and to try and be a new best friend for Libby in order to not have to worry about it as much. It's a dumb plan, but it leads to some really funny shenanigans, and I can get behind the jokes and fun they go through. And Libby learning about Scratch was only a matter of time as well. Like, we knew this was going to happen. It was obvious. I was just wondering how it was going to be done. And I think that this way was really well done, with Molly struggling over it and everything. Because it is kind of a big thing to reveal. So I like the way that this was handled. I genuinely do. But then we get to 9B, and it's like, I didn't really like it as much. I don't hate it by any means. It wasn't a bad episode or mini-sode or whatever you want to call it. But I don't like how it ended. And I thought it was a little annoying. And a little too, dare I say, generic for this show. Because the entire thing about, like, oh, main character has two best friends and trying to get them to be best friends with each other, and they don't like each other. And it's like, this has been done to death. It's a very common trope that we've seen on a lot of these kinds of shows. So it's like, of course we're going to see that here. But the problem is they didn't really do anything interesting with it. Outside of, just Scratch being a ghost. And the fact that they did come together in the end instead of, like, actually going with the message they literally said at the beginning of the episode. Like, it's like they literally said, like, not everybody's going to be friends. And that just because they're both friends with Molly doesn't mean they're going to be friends with each other. That would have been great to teach and to work on it, and maybe it could have led to them becoming friends down the line in a more natural way. But here it's just Molly keeps trying to force it, and they only come together and connect when Molly's in danger, and just, it doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel believable that by the end of it they're friends. It feels like it was this forced idea just to kind of make everybody friends. It's like, yeah, this show does have a certain positive attitude about it, about things. That's just the kind of show it is with the kind of main character we have. But this is a point where it's a little ridiculous. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that they had to be at each other's throats forever or anything. They could have become friends eventually if done right and handled with the right pacing and everything. But it was just way too quick and easy here. Like, yeah, them coming together to help Molly is fine, but becoming friends through it, I think it would have been better if at the end they, like, agreed to be less confrontational and competitive with each other, but still retain the idea of them not being friends themselves. I think that would have been smarter and a much better lesson. Because the way this is done, it comes across as if saying, like, trying to force people to be friends and even putting yourself in a dangerous situation to try and force a friendship is a good thing. It kind of comes across as saying that you should try to force people to just be friends with each other. And it's like, that's not a good lesson. Even if that's not what they were going for, and I doubt it is, obviously. That's what it comes across as. And honestly, even without the ending stuff and everything, the entire episode of Libby and Scratch just fighting over who's the best friend is honestly annoying. Like, again, this kind of thing's been done before, and it's not usually good. It's just really annoying and unenjoyable. And honestly, I feel like Scratch would do something like this, but I kind of don't feel like Libby would. I don't know, it just feels weird for her to, like, be that competitive with him over who's Molly's best friend. It just felt like a really weird thing to do for her character. Maybe that's just me, though. I wasn't a fan of 9B as much. Again, it wasn't like outright bad or anything. It wasn't like a terrible episode. I still enjoyed it to a point, but it's one of the weaker ones of this show for me. One of the weaker minisodes of the show. And considering it is a Libby-centric one, that's saying something. So, yeah. Hopefully, next episode is a little better. And again, I want to make it clear, I didn't hate this or anything. 9A was still really good as well. It's just, it wasn't that great for me comparatively. So, tell me your thoughts down in the comments below. No spoilers as always. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.